Hello and welcome to I can't even think of what I call this class anymore. Yoga for everyday athletes and normal people too. We will start in our usual seated position, but I have a question for you. What is brown and sticky? That's right, a stick. And as a corollary to that, what is a defective, what do they call a defective boomerang? That's right, a stick. Let's breathe in. More bad, really bad jokes. Inhale into your nose, down into your belly. Hopefully that keeps getting better, that skill of being able to bring the air into your belly and then letting it relax. When I am walking my dog, that's what I'm doing. I am practicing my breathing. When I'm riding my bike, I am trying it. It's a little harder. So we'll spend just a couple of breaths doing this. Today, we're going to have some similar elements to what we did on Tuesday. Some, but not a lot, actually, now that I think about it. Tuesday was all about doing things one way and then twisting and doing it the other. Today, we're going to focus on torso work again, but in a crescent lunge to a warrior two to a triangle, but then we're going to come into a balance pose. It's going to challenge us. All right, so to get ready, let's do some torso twists. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, bring your collarbones up. And then exhale, try to rotate gently back. Inhale and come back a little. And exhale, just let the air come out. It's going to be very slow. Good, and inhale. Let's do one more breath. All right, switch to the other side. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale and rotate. And if you're lucky, maybe you'll get a little back crack in here. Let's get one more good breath. Good. Come back to center. Put your hand on your forehead. And what we're going to do is lift up. So I'm putting my right hand on my top of my head, and I'm going to lift up my right elbow. I can put my left hand down on the mat if I need to, but I'm trying to open up the right side of my body. So then inhale. It's like what we do with reversed warriors. We just lean over to the side and then inhale to come back up a little bit. And exhale. Inhale up. And exhale down. You might also feel something in your right hip, but it's mostly the muscles that we're trying to get at, both from your back, but in the side of, in between your ribs, the intercostals. One more breath. And then let's come to the other side. The left hand on top of your head. You know, one day I'm gonna sneak in a hokey pokey in here, and we'll just kind of like pretend that I'm doing some super secret yoga move. Inhale, come back up, and exhale, lean over, but we'll actually do the hokey pokey just because. Inhale up and exhale. Let's let the air out of the belly, out through your nose. One more breath into your belly. And then lean over. Excellent. Roll forward, hands and knees, so that we're going to come into a downward dog. There's actual heat happening in Wisconsin right now. And it's a beautiful thing. Not quite full heat, but apparently that's coming next week. We go from 40s to 80s in a week. Because that's Wisconsin in the springtime. All right, one more breath in. Come on back. And then inhale, look to the top of the mat. Walk your feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale to a forward fold. And we're going to bring our arms up overhead, roll our torso up into the air. Inhale, bring your hands together, and then your hands to heart center, and then to the side. All right, let's find our breathing here. Before we do one thing, let's find our breathing. Lift up your right arm, tilt over like you're the little tiny teapot, and push your right hip out. Inhale up. Do the teapot twist. Every one of you is singing to yourself right now. If you remember that song from your childhood. I'm sorry for putting in an earworm, but I'm not sorry. It's a great little song to sing. And one more time. Good. Okay, so now we got a little bit more hip work in. Bring your left arm up and to your teapot. You know, if that's not what this is called in yoga language, we should definitely call it the teapot. So now I'm pushing out my hip to the left, and I'm bringing my torso over to the right. So I exhale, inhale into my belly, through my nose, and then just keep my mouth closed, which is hard when you're talking. And then back up. And I sound like Charlie Brown teacher. Good. All right. Now our torso is warmed up. Here we go. We're going to start in our standing position. Find your breathing into your belly. Inhale, and then as you exhale, pick up your right leg and bring it behind you into a crescent lunge. This is how we started on Tuesday as well. So in crescent lunge, we start, both feet are forward. My front knee is roughly over my front ankle. I'm pushing back on my back heel, so I'm trying to get it to come into the ground. And I'm trying to lean back on my exhale. So the inhale is to bring my torso up a little bit and relax my back leg. The exhale is to lean. Try to create as much of a back bend as I can. So you'll feel this in the front of your right thigh. That's where the stretch is happening. And the strength is happening in your left thigh and your torso and your shoulders. Just keep breathing into your back. We're going to hold this for a little bit. If your arms are getting too tired, you can always bring them down to your shoulders or to your side at your hips. If this isn't hard enough, you can bring your right leg back farther. You can also look up at the ceiling on your exhale. And if you really want to get crazy funky, you can close your eyes when you're doing your exhale. But watch out for your balance because you'll lose it as soon as you close your eyes. All right, let's do one more breath here. And up. Okay, now we're going to inhale, drop your back heel. We're going to come into a warrior two. Right. There we go. Front knee, make sure it's over your ankle and not rolled in. There you go. Look out over the front, your left hand, middle finger. All right, then the inhale is to relax your shoulders, kind of roll your right forward a little bit. And then the exhale is to bring your right shoulder back so that you're taking your hands as far apart as you can. Check your sense of balance between your front and your back leg. Sometimes we start leaning forward in warrior, and you want to have your torso straight up and down so that you've got equal weight on your back leg. I often straighten my front leg a little bit too when I'm inhaling. I'm feeling this stretch. The strength is still in my left glute and in my left thigh, and the stretch is now more the inside of my hip and my leg, and especially when I keep my leg straight. All right, now we're going to have some fun. Here we go. We're going to come into a triangle. So inhale, your front leg straight. Reach with your left hand. And now we're going to just tilt over like we were doing earlier into a triangle. So my left hand is inside of my left knee. My right shoulder is pointing to the ceiling, as is my hand. Both palms are facing forward. The inhale is to drop my right shoulder. The exhale is to try to bring it as far back as I can so that eventually my right shoulder is on top of my left and my torso is kind of flat. The other goal you can have is to be bringing your left hand towards the mat. However, that is a challenge, especially with what we're going to do next. It's going to be awesome. You know, this used to be, if we had talked a year ago, was on my top 3 list of yoga poses that I don't like. But the more I do them, and I do them most practices, the more I like it. It's really got a lot going on. All right, now comes the fun part. You ready? Leave your left foot where it's at. Come up on your right. Here comes the fun part. This is called a half moon pose. I had to move back a little bit. I'm going to lean forward so that my left hand comes to the ground. All right, here we go. This comes the fun part. I'm going to lift up my right leg. And I'm going to lift off my right hand. And I am going to balance on one foot and one hand. Now, the inhale is to relax this as much as you can, which is not going to be much. And the exhale is to open up your right hand up towards the ceiling. Why do people do this pose? This is so hard. But we're going to stop in a second because this is so hard. Inhale up. Okay, good. Inhale, tilt back over. Oh, yeah. So now both legs are wide. Toes are pointing forward. We're going to come into the wide stance, forward fold. We are just going to rest here. My hands are on the floor, but you can have your hands on your knees or on your shins. And so, like a forward fold we did before, the inhale is simply to relax your torso, even bring it up. The exhale is to let it fall a little forward. Your legs are straight, but not locked out. And you're feeling this maybe in your hamstrings, maybe in your lower back. We are just relaxing. Well, as best as we can relax after trying to do a half moon pose. Good. All right, let's come on up. Rotate your feet so now your right foot is forward, your left is back. Both feet are straight. We're coming into crescent lunge on this side. Here we go. I'm gonna bring my arms up overhead. I'm gonna kind of come a little bit at an angle. So again, your target stretch is the front and interior of your left hip. The strength is your right glute and your right thigh, as well as your torso and your shoulders. And then the exhale is to lean back. The inhale is up. The exhale is to lean back. And so you're going to get perhaps also a stretch in your left calf muscles as you push your heel down. All right, just one more breath here. No, let's do 2 breaths. Be nice to get like a breath counter. Make sure I'm doing this the same on each side. Good. Now, inhale, drop your back heel, roll it back, and come into a warrior 2. Nice. All right, first thing you know, check your front knee. Now I can feel myself leaning forward because most of the weight is on my front thigh. So I'm just gonna scooch on back so I got weight on my back foot as well. And inhale, rotate. Exhale, and just take my hands as far apart as possible, looking out over the front. Remember, in Warrior 2, as part of the story, your hands are holding a sword and another sword, so 2 swords, or a sword and a shield, whichever one you feel you need as you enter the battle. I will do a class and tell the story someday, because that's fun. It's a great story. And again, now you're feeling this more on the inside of your left thigh, different quad muscles, but coming kind of all the way down. And again, the strength is in your core, your shoulders, and your right thigh. Sometimes I start forgetting what my left arm is doing, my back arm, and I need to make sure I'm lifting it up. Sometimes I just look back to see what it's doing. Good. All right, here we go. We're going to come into a triangle. Inhale, straight your front leg. Exhale, reach with your right hand and cartwheel your hands down. Oh, and there goes my back. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's awesome. All right, maybe that's why I like triangles more now. So we are just trying to do the same thing as we did on the other side. The primary inhale is to drop your left arm and shoulder. The exhale is to bring your left shoulder upwards. If you can also bring your right hand down to the ground on the exhale and lift it up on the inhale. Nice, it looks good. And just keep pointing your left hand up at the ceiling. Definitely feel my shoulders getting tired. All right, we'll do one more breath here. Good. Now we're going to come up. We're going to leave our right foot down. Oh boy, here we go. Lean forward so that your right hand is on the ground. Lift up your left foot. And now when you're ready, lift up your left arm. Now, if we were really good at this, we would be completely open and looking up at our left hand. If I do that, I'm going to fall over. So I'm not going to do that because I don't profess to be really good at this. This is just an amazing strength work for your right side with the balance. So much is going on. Inhale, come on, up one more time. Inhale, down. Exhale, one more time. And come on up into one leg. Drop and come into a wide stance, forward fold. Okay, that is enough work for today. Okay, bring your hands down to the mat if you can. And then, wherever you happen to be, walk your hands to the front of the mat, walk your feet back, and come into a downward dog. The inhale and downward dog is to come up in your tiptoes. Exhale is to push one heel down at a time. You can also come up in your tiptoes and drop your collarbones down to the mat. Good. All right, now walk your feet forward a little bit or drop your knees. We're coming into a seated position and then right away to a lying down position. So we're on our backs, knees are up into the air. Bring your heel bones together, bring your knee bones together, and just rest here for a moment. Lift up your right knee and leg and cross over your left. Try to bring your left foot closer to your butt as you can. Inhale, then exhale, roll yourself over to the right. Look over to the left. Now you're going to feel this maybe in your left hip, in your left lower back, maybe in the side. Inhale up. And exhale, just let it fall. So there's a lot of places. You can also always move your left foot. If there's like some spot that you're feeling like, oh, I need to get at that to loosen that up. You can adjust where your left foot is. Like I just moved it to get at the back of my left hip. It feels stupid tight right now. Good. As you're exhaling, just let your leg fall as it will. One more time. Inhale up and exhale. Let it fall to the right. Shoulders are staying on the mat. Excellent. Roll back. Uncross your legs. Wiggle your knees a little bit. Good. Now we will do the opposite. What did I just do? Lift left leg up into the air. Cross your knees. And bring your right foot in as low as it'll go, or closest to as it will go into your hips. Inhale, and then exhale, and let it fall down. Again, the backs of your shoulders stay on the mat. Look over to the right. Now you're going to feel this in your right hip and the right lower back. Inhale into your belly, adjust your feet as you need to, and let it fall. So you can tell that we did a lot of work today with our torsos. And we're doing that for two reasons. One, we're working on strengthening your torso, your core. And people talk about core being your belly muscles, but your core is really from your hips to your kind of your chest muscles, roughly about there. Some people say from your knees to your shoulders, but it's really your hip bones and sometimes your glutes all the way up. It includes your belly muscles, your side muscles, your back muscles, everything that helps you keep your torso upright. So we're working on strengthening all of those muscles to help us keep stable, but we're also working on stretching some of them. And let's come on back so that they move better and that they open up. So we're going to bring our feet together, the ankle bones together, and drop them open into a reclining butterfly. Inhale your knees up, exhale down. We're just going to do a couple of these just to kind of do the opposite of what we were just doing. Those robins are singing outside. Such a great sound. Bring your knees up. Grab a hold of your knees with your two hands and gently pull them into your armpits. Leave the back of your head on the ground. And just pull gently. You'll feel this in your upper hamstrings, in your hamstrings, backs of your thighs. Good. Now, if you wish, you could stay where you were with your hands on your knees, or you could come into a happy baby. Bring your feet up into the air, grab a hold of your outside of your feet, or grab a hold of your balls of your feet. One version of that is called happy baby. The other is called dead, oh, for goodness sake, dead bug? Dead bug. I always found that juxtaposition very odd. It's basically the same pose, has two very different meanings and connotations. All right, we're just letting this loose. Now, we're going to do one more stretch. We're going to roll up and we're going to come into our hurdler stretch, which we've all done probably since middle school. We're going to just extend both legs, but then we're going to bring your right ankle back towards your butt so that we're working on the front of your right quad. And then we're going to inhale and rotate your right hand back, and you're going to feel the whole thing go, ah! That's probably the sound it makes. Then inhale and come back, exhale. So the goal of this is to have both butt cheeks on the mat. Mine don't come anywhere close to that. I'm all on my left. But that's the goal. And just rotate. And when you rotate, obviously you feel it more in your hip flexors and in your quads, and that's what we're going. If you even want to lean back a little bit and roll, whatever it feels, don't force this. Let the muscles just move on their own. Relax when you come back. And exhale, just relax. That's it. I'll do one more. Good. All right. And then switch sides. And we're doing this because we did a lot of work with our hamstrings and stretching those. We didn't really stretch and do much with our quads and hip flexors. Oh, this is even tighter. All right. Again, I'm not going to force anything. Exhale and rotate. Inhale, come back. Exhale, and just gently. I'm trying to reach my left hand back just a little bit. Do one more. All right, bring your foot around. Come into easy pose. On your mat, cross your legs. Find your breathing into your belly, through your nose. All right, hands at your side. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. As we always end, bring your hands together. Bring your hands to heart center. We're going to do that one more time. Just as a reminder too, that we're bringing in all the good energy, we're collecting it all, and then we're bringing it into ourselves so that we can share it with others. I appreciate your presence. I'm grateful that you are here. Namaste. All right, thank you. And check out simpleendurancecoaching.com/yoga or /strength training or /coaching for more stuff. And we'll get you hooked up for your adventure. All right. Talk to you soon.